Hi everyone! Welcome to the Keiser University Graduate Online Writing Studio. This is Ms. Zhao. In this presentation, I will share tips on how to create an effective PowerPoint presentation. For more tips for writing and other kinds of oral presentations, please check out the rest of our site. One of the key characteristics of a solid PowerPoint presentation is visual clarity. Visual clarity refers to the readability of the slides, how easy it is for your audience to read and understand what they see. To help with visual clarity, make sure that there is contrast on your slides. Use either dark text on light backgrounds or light text on dark backgrounds. When you're using bullet points, be sure to left justify bullets to keep the organization of your slides simple and predictable for the audience to follow. Try to also stay consistent with the fonts you select and text size. As a general rule, you want to use 12-point or larger font, and only use fonts that are standard for reading, such as Times New Roman or Arial. Another aspect of a great PowerPoint presentation is to keep it simple. Avoid information overload by focusing on conveying only a few central ideas per slide. No need to pile the information on. Instead, if it's important to your presentation, you can separate your points onto various slides. That said, you also don't want to include big text blocks. Instead, try writing in bullet points or short sentences or phrases so you don't lose your audience's attention. You'll also want to keep it simple with the transitions. Try not to go too deep into the fun options to keep the focus on your presentation's content. Relatedly, you can be creative with the PowerPoints, but consider taking advantage of set design features on PowerPoint. All of these slides that I'm presenting here have been designed by the PowerPoint design feature. They have a plethora of options for you to consider that are clean and presentable, and will allow you to spend your time developing your presentation's content rather than slide design. Generally, when you are using text, try to avoid writing in all caps on the slides. The titles of these slides are in all caps, but notice that the font keeps it still readable, and since they are contained in the title, it is not too distracting. All caps can also convey that someone is yelling, so try to keep a more professional tone and use capitalizations in a more traditional manner. We touched on this briefly before, but try to use simple fonts and stay consistent with fonts and sizes. And finally, when you want to emphasize particular parts of the text, use bolding or underlines to emphasize your points, so it is clear to the audience what you are trying to argue. Images are a great option for PowerPoints because they're usually immediately understandable and draw the audience in. Consider creating or finding relevant graphs or other graphics to enhance your points instead of writing it in text. When you use images, be sure to place images not in the middle, but a little off-center, so you can make room for text as well. Here are a few other things to keep in mind. Don't overly rely on the slides. A PowerPoint presentation is so much about what is being said and explained off the slide. If you read from the slide, it can take away from the energy of the presentation and cause the audience to lose interest. Instead, use the slides' bullet points to elaborate on your speaking points. You can think of the slides as references for your speech, but don't allow them to become transcripts of your speech. The points on the slide should be concise and easy to read, as per the tips we discussed in the previous slides about using text and images. And finally, be careful not to assume your audience understands the connections between the ideas and images on the slides. Instead, take time to handhold the audience and explain to us how these things come together so your ideas can really shine. And that concludes our presentation. Thanks for watching Keiser University Graduate Online Writing Studio's video on PowerPoint presentations. We are always available to help, so please do not hesitate to contact us.